What's up everyone, it's Kadi with MoneyVest. So in this video, I wanted to go over one ETF that I'm doubling down on even more. So I'm going to be buying more shares of this ETF today, next week, in the weeks to come. This was part of our experiment that we were doing on another ETF apart from VUG. This is the second one that I feel like has a ton of potential. This is a one ETF that I have essentially been a very big advocate of over the last couple of years because I believe this is the industry for the next 10 years to buy and hold because it's only getting started. Yes, there's a lot of individual stocks within this sector that could be argued are a bit more overpriced or trading at an expensive valuation. But on aggregate, if you take a look at this ETF, in my opinion, it's one of the best ones to buy and hold for the long term, in my opinion, of course. So hope you all enjoyed this video and find it helpful. Make sure that you drop a like and of course subscribe to the channel if you're just joining us for the first time. And also don't forget that we do have our 4th of July sale. If you want to take advantage of a 60% discount on all educational courses, it expires in 2 days. Coupon code is going to be July 4 across all courses and all bundles. And also do check out our Patreon if you want to get a 51% discount and early access to the entire platform. We're going to be launching in 4 days for all the members. We've already done most of the work. Now all it comes down to is launching the platform and making it available for everyone to do in-depth fundamental analysis, comprehensive analysis on over 17,000 stocks. So links can be down below. We'd love to have you on board and get your feedback so we can improve the quality of this platform and include for more features and more functionality and more tools over time. So this right here is the ETF SMH, and that is going to be our semiconductor ETF. I started buying this 2 years ago. I've periodically sold some shares and then I've bought more, $500, $1,000, 10 shares, 15 shares, $2,000 worth of UG. And I've just constantly continued dollar cost average into this ETF, up a little bit over 33% as of this video. And I believe that over the long term, this could be an ETF where I could be up more than 100 to as much as 200, 300%, considering a lot of the companies that are in this ETF are already at the top when it comes to the semiconductor sector. So this right here is kind of like that pyramid, which I wanted to go over. And there's a lot of different companies within this sector, within this industry, so to speak, right? There's an entire ecosystem built around semiconductors. We've done videos on TSMC. I've done videos on NVIDIA. I've done videos on ARM. I've done videos on Advanced Micro Devices, Qualcomm, Micron, done videos on Applied Materials, Clark Corporation, ASML. I mean, the list goes on and on. Even Lamb Research we've talked about on the channel. So list goes on and on. There's a lot of companies that are absolutely incredible in terms of their growth, in terms of their fundamentals, in terms of their potential for future earnings growth. So if you, for example, any company we pick up and we plug it into our platform. So let's just do ASML very quickly, right? So if you come over to our MoneyVest platform, again, you can access this on July 8th. Link's going to be down below. If you come down over here, let's just do some quick fundamental analysis on ASML. And let's just go back to the annual data for the last 20 years. Just take a look at this, right? So very, very strong growth in the last 20 years. For the companies, you can see very nice consistency. Revenue is now over 27 billion. So gross profit, operating income, and net income as well. You can plot for a lot of things and just take a look at this. I mean, absolutely incredible. And the same is going to be true for a lot of companies, right? So let's just plug in for Qualcomm over here. Qualcomm also has, a lot of moat, a lot of fundamental strength here in terms of IoT and 5G technologies. So this right here is the last 20 years worth of revenue, gross profit, operating income, and net income as well, all the way at the bottom. So this right here is what it looks like. It's been a little bit more unstable compared to ASML, but nonetheless, a very, very strong numbers. And of course, needless to say, NVIDIA is at the top of the list here when it comes to looking at the company's fundamentals. I mean, just take a look at this parabolic revenue and gross profit and operating income just absolutely shooting up in 2024. And of course, the future years are going to be even more strong. And that's what analysts are pricing in for. 132% increase on a year-over-year basis and a 25% CAGR over 8-year period. 8 years compounded annual growth rate of almost 25%. And you can look for a lot of other companies, right, on the platform. Let's look at Clark Corporation. Another fantastic business. Before we get there, I did a video on Applied Materials earlier this week. So definitely do check out that video as well. Scores a very nice 4 out of 5 in terms of that M score. But take a look at that. Revenue, gross profit, very nice consistent growth here. Operating income, net income, everything moving in the right direction, as you can see, growing for this company as well. And then again, we did a video on Cloud Corporation last year in 2023. Just some phenomenal number scores. Again, almost a 4 out of 5 on the M score. And again, if you plot for some of these numbers, revenue, gross profit, operating income, net income, we've got some very nice consistency from this company as well. If you come down to analyst estimates, we've got a CAGR of almost 12% over 5-year period for this business as well. So this right here, we've got the chip foundries at the very top. Then we've got integrated device, design manufacturers. Then we got fabless foundries, so mostly chip designers, such as IBM, NVIDIA, ARM, Qualcomm, AMD, and Apple. We got Micron, Intel in the IDMs, and we got wafer fab equipment. So again, a lot of companies that are building the core equipment needed to actually then manufacture chips, such as ASML, Lam Research. We got Applied Materials and Cloud Corporation, 4 of the top in the industry here. We got materials, and we got EDA tools, and we got chip IP cores, where ARM is also a pretty big deal over there in that segment as well. So this again is a more better sort of overview of, again, integrated device manufacturers. We got foundries, we got PCBs, fabless, core IP, materials, capital equipment, EMS, OEMs, so on and so forth, right? So found this picture at altmansolon.com, very illustrative, where all the components of semiconductor ecosystem are shown at one place. And this right here is the forecast. And this is one of the reasons why I'm extremely bullish in semiconductors over the long term, is because, you know, there is going to be a lot of demand for chips as time goes on, because the world is moving very much towards digital technologies across the board, whether it's as simple as, you know, obviously your phones, but also to robotaxis and to robots and humanoid robots, so on and so forth. So the demand for chips is only going to increase, because, you know, semiconductors and chips are quite literally the brains behind every operation when it comes to every piece of hardware, technological hardware, and everything is going to become more and more smart, right? It's going to be more AI integrated. It's going to be more machine learning. It's going to be learning, from large language models, and of course the amount of data that we have. It's going to need a lot of compute power to synthesize all that data and make sense of all that data. So everything is going to become more and more smart. Everything is going to become more efficient over time when it comes to digital technologies. And for that reason, we've expected to grow from about $500 billion to well over $1.1 trillion by 2033, so in the next 10 years, and poised to grow at a compounded annual growth rate of over 7.64% CAGR. And this right here is the overall trajectory for the semiconductor industry. Now, this right here is the Asia Pacific, which makes up for the majority of that market size, from $287 billion to well over $611 billion by 2033, again growing at almost an 8% CAGR. This is the breakdown. So Asia Pacific accounting for more than 50% of the semiconductor market share. Then we got North America at 22, almost 23%. Europe is at a little bit over 15%. We got Latin America at just over 4.5%, and then Middle East and Africa at just over 4%. This is going to be the market share, of course, as of 2023. And these are some of the growth drivers, right? So when it comes to production, manufacturing, and investment, Taiwan Semiconductor has already been leading in the manufacturing world, one of the biggest foundries in the world, and stood at a strong revenue of just under $76 billion in 2022. And 2023 data, the company produces over 10 million semiconductor wafers per year. The Indian government over here in India, they've also launched something called Semicon to promote the production of semiconductors in the country, with an outlay of about 76,000 crores. That's actually a lot of money. And the CHIPS Act 2022 by the United States government includes $52 billion for chip manufacturing. And according to the Semiconductor Industry Association, so SIA, the US is exported $61 billion in semiconductors in 2022. Intel, one of the most prominent manufacturers of semiconductor chips, also stated that in January of 2023 that it has invested over $20 billion into 2 new chip factories in Ohio, as we already know. And March 23, the US exported semiconductor devices to Mexico worth $125 million. And the country even exported semiconductor devices to Germany in the same period worth over $60 million as well. China's export semiconductor devices reached over $6 billion. And the export business in China showed a positive trade as well. So there's a lot of things happening around semiconductors and chips, and of course artificial intelligence. The rapid growth in machine learning, IoT, and wireless communication devices are spurring the semiconductor demand. The rapid growth in work from home across the globe has significantly fostered the demand for PCs and laptops, which result in a significant amount of semiconductor across the globe as well. So instead of having to kind of figure out, okay, which companies, are going to be the leaders and the ones that are going to do the best in this entire ecosystem, which to some extent we can already make a case for, again, NVIDIA, Advanced Micro Devices being the obvious ones. But we've got companies like NXP, we've got companies like Micron, we've got companies like ASML, Clack Corporation, Qualcomm, Broadcom, right? Companies like Lam Research and even Clack Corporation. There's a lot that are in this that are going to benefit from this entire growth. And I believe almost all of them have done really well in the last 1 year to as much as 2 years as this artificial intelligence trend has taken off, which is exactly why I prefer SMH, Semiconductor ETF from VanEck, which has a lot of companies already in them. So it's got a company like NVIDIA, almost 20% of the entire portfolio. We got TSMC at over 13%, Broadcom at almost 8%, Advanced Micro Devices over 5%, ASML, Applied Material, Lam Research, Texas Instruments, Intel, Micron, Qualcomm. A lot of them are already in there, and the top 10 companies alone make up for over 72% of this entire ETF, with 26 companies making up for this entire ETF. And that's one of the reasons why, again, I'm very bullish on this entire sector and this ETF in general. It's gone up over 234% since its October 2022 lows. But since I've been, of course, buying, and in fact, I started buying at the very peak back in 2021, and of course, buying a lot, as it was trailing up higher and higher. Obviously, this is proven to be very, very well in terms of that profitable investment. So I do believe that I think it's got the potential to trade up to as much as 300, 325, 350, and we're talking 7 to 10 years out. And if it gets up to, let's say, $400, it's a nice 51, 52% gain in an ETF. And that's kind of like being on the more conservative, underestimating side. You could easily more than double over the next 10 years if there is a lot of potential growth here in NVIDIA, Advanced Micro Device, in the entire semiconductor sector in general, as I believe there will be. So let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. My plan is to buy more of this ETF and continue to dollar cost average a little bit further every week. Just put in $1,000 or $500 every single week and continue to DCA my way in. But let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. And what do you think about this entire ETF, this entire sector? What are your thoughts? I would love to know. As always, if you enjoyed this video, found it helpful, make sure that you drop a like, subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget, we've got the MoneyVest platform beta launch coming up in 4 days. Link's going to be down below for a 51% discount. You can lock this pricing in forever until you cancel. And also 2 more days for the coupon code July 4 to expire. 60% off on all of our educational courses that you can take advantage of. As always, happy investing. I'll see you all in the next video.